Although I made so many jokes about it, this phone is actually my daily phone. This phone is the iPhone 6S, and today we'll be reviewing it 5 years later with the 5-year-old phone that's running the latest and greatest iOS software, iOS 14. As you expect with an iPhone that's 5 years old, design is pretty dated. It looks very, very old, and my sister says it looks like an iPod, which I guess is true because it's very, very small as well compared to today's standards of big boy smartphones. But it's still light and thin and as slippery as ever. I like the design and I kept it relatively clean, I think, since I bought it 5 years ago. But the design is pretty dated, and that's the first aspect of the review. The second thing is, the thing that you're always staring at is the screen. And the screen looks very, very dated. And it's one of the reasons why I didn't consider the iPhone SE. Because imagine after having an old device for so long, for you to buy a new device that looks exactly the same as the old device. I don't care if it looks different from the inside, but staring at the same device, practically speaking, it's the same device with different internals, is not very appealing to the eye. And the screen is pretty old. It's not even 1080p, it's LCD, and it has a huge forehead and a huge chin. The audio jack is still here, even though it's not really very relevant in 2020. But I guess if there are wired headphones that I want to use, I can use them. I can use headphones that I use with my laptop, with my phone, if there is a reason for me to do so, or connect it to an old car or something along these lines using legacy ports with my iPhone. My iPhone still works. One main feature that is really lackluster and really cannot compare is the camera. This camera is, well, inadequate. It's so bad that I really need to have all the sunshine in the world to make the picture good enough. If I take a picture at night or at any low light situation, the picture is just unbearable to watch unless I add a filter to make it kinda look nice, but it still doesn't. The selfie camera is the same. It's very old. I think it's 3 megapixels. Even if it's 3 megapixels, it looks like 0.1 megapixels, and it's generally so bad. But then we move on to the largest problem with using an iPhone 6S in 2020, which is the battery life. I think this phone lasts me 3 hours. It's trash. The battery life is trash. This phone is trash. I don't know why I'm still using it, right? Well, this is hardware we're talking about, but software is still supported. As I said in the beginning, this thing, a 5-year-old phone, still runs iOS 13. It can do picture-in-picture, it can do most of the things the new phones can do. I think the reason I'm holding back for this long is every time an iPhone is released, I'm reluctant. Is it worth the upgrade? iPhone 7, is it worth the upgrade? iPhone 8, is it worth the upgrade? iPhone 10 is too expensive. And then I woke up with me having a 5-year-old phone, but I definitely plan on buying a new one very soon. So maybe we'll be taking a look at a video called iPhone 6S versus iPhone 12. In the end, I don't think keeping a device for long is really a bad thing, because it's up to you to keep it. If it's comfortable, if it works, there's no harm in keeping a device and squeezing every bit of value out of it. It's the same with having a very comfortable old jacket or an old hoodie that you always wear, and it works, it does its job. Or you can say another gadget or an expensive thing like an old car. As long as it works, you can continue to use it until a product that comes in to your door with features so enticing that you say, yeah, screw that old phone. So until then, iPhone 6S is the one for me.